Most terrifying stories don't start with screams. They start with quiet streets, friendly faces, and that one moment where everything changes. A food delivery that turns into a knife chase. A friend who earns their trust just to destroy it from the inside. And a man who might have been scouting a killer. These 3 true stories, they don't just leave questions, they leave scars. Night shifts used to be my favorite. Quiet streets, music in my ears, and a sense of peace as I delivered orders around the city of Hillcrest on my e-bike. That night started no differently. My last order was from a fast food joint. Burger, fries, nothing strange. The customer, a woman named Karen, smiled, tipped in cash, and shut the door. Instead of unplugging my phone in her front yard, I hate doorbell cameras, I rolled to a narrow alley nearby to fix my charger and change playlists. That's when I heard it. Footsteps, close, unhurried. I glanced up, expecting a neighbor. But this woman didn't want to pass. She just stood there, inches away. Tall, pale, blank expression. Blue hoodie pulled up, eyes locked on mine. "You have my food," she said. I'd already delivered it, confirmed in the app. I smiled, trying to diffuse the weird tension. "I just dropped an order off. Maybe check your app?" She didn't blink. "That was mine," she repeated. I figured maybe she was hungry. I offered a granola bar for my pack. She snatched it, hard, and stepped closer. "I want my food," she snapped. Before I could say anything else, she screamed, loud, piercing. I flinched so hard I hit my bike's throttle. It lurched forward. She chased. As I reached the metal barrier at the end of the alley, I slowed just enough and felt her grab the back of my bike. That's when I saw it. In her other hand was a knife, long, serrated, glinting in the alley light. I cranked the pedal assist to max and shot forward. She screamed behind me, calling me a thief, and threw the granola bar box like a weapon. They hit the sidewalk, nowhere near me, but the knife stayed in her grip. I didn't stop until I was back near Maple Circle, where the streets were full of people. And from that night on, I never let my guard down just because it was quiet. Miles Hendricks wasn't just a good boss. He was the kind you remember for the rest of your life. He ran the office like a ship, but treated everyone like family. When my partner and I worked under him years ago, he made every shift feel like we were building something real. When he left, it was like losing the glue that held everything together. Years later, long after we'd moved on, he called me out of the blue. His voice was shaky. He said he'd been living with his father, who was dying, and that things had gotten strange. He said he'd reviewed security footage and saw his father standing over him while he slept, holding a knife. He didn't feel safe. He had nowhere to go. Could he stay with us for a few nights? My partner, Jace, was hesitant. I said yes. The first few days were fine. Miles was quiet, grateful. He helped around the house and offered to coach me on some freelance projects I was starting. He said we could build something together, that I had the work ethic, I just needed direction. But slowly things began to rot. He stopped cleaning up after himself, left trash in his room, said he was tired, said he'd get to it later. Later never came. Then came the tension between me and Jace. Small fights started to bubble up. Miscommunications turned into arguments. And every time Miles was in the room, it felt like someone had cracked the door open to let a draft in. You couldn't see it, but you felt it. I started confiding in Miles about our struggles. He nodded, listened, said I was right to feel frustrated, told me I was the one trying, that maybe I was carrying more than I should. What I didn't know was that Jace was hearing the same thing, just flipped. Miles told him I was the problem, that I was disorganized, that I didn't follow through. He said, "You don't deserve to feel stuck. Maybe you've outgrown this." He was planting the same seed in both of us, just from different angles. And he was patient, quiet, calculated. Eventually, Jace and I hit a breaking point. We separated. I moved out. Miles stayed. It wasn't until weeks later that we finally compared stories. We realized we had both been manipulated, played by the same person we trusted most. His stories didn't match. His business advice had gone nowhere. His promises had vanished. And the knife story that started it all? Miles' own mother told me there'd never been a knife. No police report, no footage, just one more story from someone who thrived on chaos. The last thing I heard about him, he'd been admitted to a psychiatric facility 2 towns over. But honestly, I think he prefers houses, because with enough time, he doesn't just move in, he takes over. I had just moved to Redwood Falls, a town known more for its quiet nights than anything else. One evening, I was outside on my porch with a new rescue dog I'd taken in. He'd been thrown out of a moving car and I still didn't know his name. He was shy, jumpy, practically silent. I was mid-scroll when a guy walked by, then doubled back. "Hey, can you tell me where 45 Easton Lane is?" I pulled up my phone, told him it was 2 blocks north. He smiled, but didn't leave. Instead, he asked if he could see my phone. Then, if he could use it. Then, if he could text someone from it. I told him no. He kept stepping closer. That's when I heard a growl. The dog, still unnamed, rose up from under the chair like a different creature. He lunged forward, barking with force I didn't think possible. The guy backed off immediately, muttered a thanks, turned, and walked away. I watched from the window as he pulled out a phone of his own and made a call. I named the dog Rex that night. He'd earned it. Weeks later, I was working door security at a bar in Lancaster. Slow night, mostly regulars. Then a new guy walked in. Smooth, well-dressed, looked like a finance guy or consultant. We made small talk until he leaned in and asked, "Ever think about killing people for money?" I laughed, waiting for the joke. He wasn't joking. He said I had the right build, the right attitude, that I could work once or twice a month, travel a little, and make real cash. I told him no. He nodded, said, "Figured," and walked out. Never saw him again. But I still wonder if that guy on my porch was just the first test. The scariest part of these stories isn't the knife. It's the calm before the knife, the silence before someone screams, the small talk before someone makes an offer you can't believe, the smile before they split your life in half. These weren't strangers in a horror film. They were people you'd pass on the sidewalk, and that's why these stories stay with you.